these different teams and channels, you have a lot of different options, a lot of different integration. So for HR, for example, they have, in this example, they have like a recruitment channel. So the HR leadership team has this recruitment channel where people can post new conversations, reply back to them with different questions. You can share files, and multiple people can view those, edit those at the exact same time, which is very helpful. So if there's an Excel spreadsheet multiple people will need to work in, as long as it's shared here, I can open it. And then I could also choose not whether I want to open it in edit in Teams, open in the actual Word app on my desktop, or open in a browser. So Microsoft's goal with Teams is really to try to have one place for collaboration, so you don't have to jump all over, open all these different apps. Even though it's technically another app, there's a lot of integration where you can edit these documents within here. Other things you can do, and it's really super simple when let's say, these are almost like shortcuts, I guess you could say, at the top. So a lot of people are curious what these are. So you can have a wiki that you can post more informational wiki style questions, more for documentation purposes. There are integrations with SharePoint. I mean, you name it, there's an integration for it, but these are just different tabs for different shortcuts. And so some of the more utilized ones are something like let me see, Planner is very helpful, and I can show an example of that, how you can utilize that. Lists, there's one for shifts as well, so and I can kind of touch on that. Normally these load really quickly, but Murphy's Law, I'm in a demo, so it's going to take its time for you guys. But so there's a lot of different integration. So let's say this is in a spreadsheet that instead of trying to go dig through files every time, it's a spreadsheet that the recruitment team's in constantly. I can just tab it at the top here, make it to where everybody can get in it live in real time, and it'll show where exactly everyone is, and multiple people can update it and at the exact same time, versus someone saving it, closing out of it, get another person getting in to edit. This, I believe, is the Planner integration, just an example of that. Or I'm sorry, this is the Planner one. And I promise you, this worked great earlier, Murphy's Law. Here you go. So this is kind of an example of things you can do with Planner. So Planner is another Microsoft app, which Microsoft, I don't think, does a good enough job explaining, hey, you have all these different apps and features. Any 365 license with an email account comes with Planner. So from here, they've used this as they're organizing by received resumes, and it just happens to be the candidate's name, and then they can assign the interviewer, assign a date of when it's going to happen. You can kind of keep track of who's doing what, who's working on what, and you can either show it as a board view where you can drag and move things. So let's say that we received the resume, first interview is happening. There it is. The candidate's now moved to the second interview. I can just drag and drop it easily. And now let's say the interview's done. I can check that off the list, and then I can view what's been completed. And there's different ways to view this. The board's the easiest. You can have a list showing all these different candidates here. And then there's charts as well to kind of keep track of priorities, because you can tag the different events. So it's just different ways to organize what you're working on as a group or as a team.